Works Department buildings, the Village Intake Dam, and the Massena Terminal Railroad. And whereas the volunteer fire department is led by 1 chief, 2 assistant chiefs, 1 career staff foreman, 3 captains, 3 lieutenants with 50 volunteer firefighters, and 9 career firefighters and EMTs. And whereas since the first fire chief, Frank Bailey, served in 1900, 64 fire chiefs have served, including today's fire chief, Thomas Miller, to whom I present this proclamation. So now therefore, the town of Massena, do hereby proclaim July 19, 2025 as Massena Volunteer Fire Department Day for the 125th anniversary. And we call this observance to the attention of all of our citizens. And we really do appreciate all that the fire department does for us. I think sometimes we take departments like that for granted, and we really should. So anyway, I'd like to have Bob, can you send me a picture so I'll get to take one? And Jeff also, perhaps that'd be great. So, and what's your position?
First assistant.
First assistant, and this is Corey Debbie. And then we have our chief, Tom Miller.
Mike McCauley, second assistant.
Second assistant, okay, very good. Okay, good. And since I didn't stay, I will send you a new one.
We just want to thank the town for acknowledging the fire department, all the volunteers of 125 years, their dedication, commitment to this community, professionalism has been there, and we have served to the best of our ability. And we want to thank the town for recognizing us for that. We will be having an event on July 19th, right here in front of the fire station. We hope that all of you can come, show up. We're going to do the old-time bed races. We're going to do tug of truck, and we're going to have entertainment. We're going to have the Nord Brass Band playing from 3 to 5, and then 6-foot midgets from 6 to 9. So hopefully you guys can stop over and make an appearance. But again, we want to thank the town for recognizing us.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Who's going to speak to us on the DEC septic replacement program. So please come forward and let us know what people may need to do.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Heidi Ames from the County Planning Office. Just have a very short presentation for you about the county's septic system replacement program. These are grant funds that are available to offset the costs of repairing or replacing septic systems that have failed or are at risk of failure that are near certain water bodies. And here in Massena, there are quite a number of eligible waterways. And so I wanted to make sure that everyone here is aware of the program. Very briefly, it's DEC money. It's administered by the Environmental Facilities Corporation. And right now, we've got about $900,000 on hand, well, available for reimbursement for this program. It's a water quality protection program. DEC and Department of State are the ones who determine the eligible water bodies based on the water body meeting certain standards that makes it potentially able to serve as a public water supply. So here in Massena, the St. Lawrence, the lower Raquette, and minor tributaries to the Raquette are all eligible waterways. I've left a map with your clerk. It's just black and white. It's not fabulous, but the grayscale parcels, tax parcels on the map are those that are at least close enough to the waterways that if they have a septic system close enough to the waterway also, they may be eligible. We do have on the planning office website a mapping tool that is a little bit more robust least it's easier to see because the eligible parcels show up in yellow. So those parcels, again, are just the parcels that are close enough to the water bodies. The actual septic system has to be within 250 feet of the water body in order for it to be eligible for the program. But if it is, you can get $10,000, up to $10,000 back, or 50% with that maximum of $10,000 on a septic system replacement job. Most of the jobs we're seeing for this program are running somewhere around the low end 15,000 and the high end around 25,000. So not inexpensive, and the homeowner does need to front the cash, so that is challenging. However, if you need to do a septic system, it's a better deal than having to foot the entire bill yourself to get 10K back if you can. Year-round homes are eligible, camps are, or seasonal residences are eligible. Businesses with a flow of less than 100 or 1,000 gallons a day are also eligible. About the only thing that isn't okay is brand new construction. If it's a brand new septic system on a site that has not had a system or a septic tank or a cesspool, some type of means of handling effluent, then it's not eligible. Let me see, so we can repair or replace the entire system. We do require engineered drawings to ensure that it's built appropriately, again, to protect the water quality. Design and construction costs are eligible for this program and reimbursable at 50%, again, up to that cap of $10,000. There are no liens on your property after using this program. It's actually very, very simple to use, even administratively for us. It's quite simple to use, which is always refreshing. If you want to find out if you're eligible, I have left, again, the map as well as some cards with a QR code and also a reference to our website, so you can take a look at your own property on that mapper. You can fill out and submit an application right online. We're usually getting back to people, within a few days on general eligibility. In some cases, we need to go out and take a little bit closer look at the site, depending on, the individual's knowledge of where their system actually is located and so on. That's about all I've got. Questions from you?
So anybody who's concerned, they contact you.
Yeah, the planning office, and either our office or public health will get back to you. We're working together to administer the program.
Reporters, have any questions at all?
All right, again, simple program. We're happy to have these funds available, and I think folks are finding it useful. So have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to our standard agenda items. Approval, please, the May 21st meeting minutes.
Motion.
Okay, Pat and Christie,
Yep.
all in favor?
Aye.
Approval by the town council for the town supervisor to sign or execute the cost plus fixed fee for construction, observation, and administration of the rehabilitate terminal building roof project at the airport.
I'll make the motion.
Ray, second by Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the town supervisor to sign the contract documents between the town and contractor Albert Davis Incorporated for the construction of rehabilitate terminal building roof project at the international airport.
Motion.
Motion by Pat, second by Ray, all in favor? Okay. We've had a lot of reading to do, that's for sure, the last one. Approval by the town council authorize the town supervisor to sign the HA's portable toilet rental agreement, and this covers the 2025 fishing tournaments being held at Massena Intake.
I'll motion.
Christie, and the second
I'll second that.
by Ray, thank you. All in favor? Yeah, you're the last one. Approval approved by the town council to authorize the town supervisor to sign the amended grant disbursement agreement for the town of Massena fishing tournament working capital.
Motion.
Matt made the motion,
I'll second.
Christie made the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approved by the town council to authorize the town supervisor to sign change order number 1 for the sand storage building at Massena International Airport.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Ray, and a second, please.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved by the town supervisor to sign the contract agreement between the town of Massena and the National Pro Fishing League for the NPFL Professional Fishing Tournament on the river, July 6th to the 11th at the Massena Intake.
I'll motion.
Christie,
I'll second that.
second by Ray. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved by the town council to submit a grant application to the consolidated funding application process to secure funding for Massena tournaments in the town of Massena.
I'll make that motion.
Ray, and a second
Second.
by Christie. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Okay, transfers and amendments.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Pat,
I second it.
Christie seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And warrants.
I will make that motion.
Christie
I'll second.
and Pat seconded. They're auditors of this month. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We go over to Brenda for our financial reports.
So as of today, 2025, June 18th, our total revenue collected so far is $5,368,215. In 2024, our revenue collected was $5 million, should have been $4,507,132. So our 2025 revenue is $861,083 more than June of '24. Our expenses as of June 18th is $4,122,891. In 2024, our expenses were $3,644,321. Our 2025 expenses are $478,570 more than June of 2024.
Anybody have any questions for Brenda? Okay, thank you, Brenda. Let's go to our reports, town highway and airport billing.
For the highway department, we've installed 5 new driveway culverts. We've mowed cemeteries 3 times. We've started road work in preparation for the fall's paving. We fixed damage from the winter water line breaks. I believe we're all caught up now. We started mowing roadsides the beginning of the month for the equipment repairs at the highway garage. Unit 49, we replaced the front brake chamber and replaced tires on 2 pickups. For the airport, the peaks air numbers were 490 in-planed, 490 deplaned, for 980 total. 184 landings. There was 2 canceled flights due to weather. Construction continues with the sand storage building. We continue with finish mowing, and we started brush hogging the fields. We are hopefully resolving the ongoing septic issue at the terminal. There are no new issues at the library, museum, or town hall.
All right, thank you. Let me see here. Joint recreation,
Lots going on in Massena. So, the lacrosse teams are finishing up last week and over the next 2 weeks. They had a lacrosse jamboree on May 31st through June 1st, and it was a huge hit. They had Italian Affair food truck. The stores in the area were packed. They had 7 fields going at one time, so there was a lot of people. They had soccer registration. Regular registration is now closed, but they'll accept late registrants. They have 284 kids in the pre-K, K, and above category registered. And then they have 20 kids in the pre-K 3. And they actually, for the first time in years, have enough coaches to coach all of the teams they need. So they're very excited. They opened the beach on June 1st. That was their first day with lifeguards, and they're gonna drag the sand soon, they said. The softball, all the leagues are operational. They're having games and tournaments. They interviewed and hired a therapeutic summer recreation director. Amber LaBarge is her name. The Massena Summer Rec program starts on June 27th, and they are fully staffed, so they'll have a male and female leader at each location and 2 specialty leaders. They also had to hire 1 lifeguard this year. Let's see, they've got the summer concert series, which is every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. They had a retirement. Phil Furness officially retired May 31st. They are advertising for a new hire. Oh, and the community center will be taking over the coordination, or Joint Rec will be taking over the coordination of scheduling for the community center. So if people want to sign out the room or use the building, Joint Rec will be taking over that coordination. They're not taking over maintenance or physical plant issues, but you will contact the arena, the Joint Rec to.
Okay, so either Mike or is there someone else there?
It's whoever's gonna be there. They've got somebody who like answers the phone and does all that stuff. So that'll be who does it most of the time. And they also talked about doing some more advertising to get new clients to advertise on the boards and the Zamboni. And they've reached out to several companies already. So hopefully they'll get some new advertisements and bring in some more income.
Good idea. Okay, library.
Library met on June 10th at 4:15. I'm sure we got library people who can correct anything I might say wrong.
You'll have a chance later, so go ahead.
The first thing that was fixed was the minutes for May 13th, May 13th, not April 8th. That was on the agenda. That was fixed. Program reports. Just be short with it. There's a lot of programs and there's a lot of stuff going on, and it seems like the kids keep getting busier and busier with the library. That's correct, right? Yeah, we see a lot of that stuff. There's a usage report, visit report, social media report, and lots of children associated with this. Finance Committee was meeting on July 14th, and we're working on a budget proposal preparation. And then survey responses continue through June 12th. At the end of June, they should be compiling all of those results, putting a report together. And the policy committee was Thursday the 12th, was meeting on that. We'll get a report to that next month on that. And then Krista did lots of grant update.
And their vice president, Jen Stokes, has been over to interview some of us for what we are being put for our strategic plan. I was interviewed. Any of the rest of you interviewed yet?
I have not yet.
Not yet? Okay. But you can certainly reach out. They will send postcards to mail. I got one of those at home. So be sure to respond to them. Okay.
Those were reviewed at the meeting too, the postcards.
All right, Town Museum.
We went on the 5th from 4:30 to 5:10. We approved the minutes. The treasurer's report was checking 135.11, savings 67.80, storage 199.28, petty cash 46.43. The memorial account was 3,648 cents. We discussed the storage building and the need to finish that off and insulate it before the cold for the winter comes. There's 4 sessions, 35 visitors. Kelsey did a genealogical research and some Jewish history research. That's why we're going to meet on August 7th at 4:30. There's no meeting in July.
And the historian Kelsey has also been very helpful for me in finding research on certain articles for things that are happening, whether it's village, town, etc. So.
I, on behalf of the town, thank Kelsey and the museum for that.
Yeah, he's doing a good
And
job.
also for the help of the airport.
Yes. Okay, as far as my committee report for the St. Lawrence County Chamber Ambassadors, they're originally going to plan to meet tomorrow, but because of Juneteenth, they're going to meet on Wednesday, June 25th at 4:30. More and more businesses are joining them, so that's good. If anybody here is interested, contact Laura Pearson or the Executive Director, Ben Dixon. The Chamber reminds us that the 21st Annual Barbecue will be held this weekend, June 21st at 4, with a presentation in Augsburg. Massena Townwide garage sales are scheduled for June 28th and 29th. Make sure you check out their interactive map on the events page. And put on your calendar, of course, as we know tonight, July 19th, Massena Volunteer Fire Department celebration of their 125th anniversary. And again, they're going to have cornhole tournaments, bed races, food trucks, Norwood brass band, and 6-foot midgets, to name some of the entertainment. So, yeah, if we could all get to that, I think that'd be great. What's that?
She wants to participate in the bed race by
Oh,
sitting in the bed.
oh. That could really
Right,
entertain.
Janine?
Let's go to code officer, Pat.
So a relatively minor report this month, kind of towing the line right now. Not a lot in permits. What we've been dealing with a lot the past 30 to 40 days is a lot of, I would say, research-based stuff where people call with questions. And you gotta be careful with the questions too, because code office isn't a design, we're not design professionals. So a lot of times people come in and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing, how can I do it? Well, that's what a design professional is for. If you wanna come and show me your plan and your drawings and ask if it's code compliant, we gotcha. So a lot of it's just been kinda directing people where they probably should go. We did right-size fire inspections a little bit, so some under state code are only required to take place every 3 years, so we're gonna shift some of those onto that schedule. And that's actually helped quite a bit, because now, like construction inspections, which usually eats up a lot of time during this time of year, we can actually schedule those in a fairly reasonable period of time and get out and look at what we're supposed to be looking at without getting too bogged down. So, but other than that, it's going pretty well.
Good, that's good to hear. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go over to town planning and zoning.
Yeah, we didn't have a meeting last month, the month before, nor we having one tomorrow. There's still no activity, nobody's asked for anything specifically, so nothing to report, there's nothing going on.
Okay. Okay. Massena Electric.
Kristen, you got some notes on that? I somehow deleted my notes, but I printed off the re-agenda, so I can recreate some stuff. The minutes aren't done yet. Well, I can start with a few things.
All right, you go ahead and start, I'll find my stuff.
All right, regular meeting was May 22nd at 1 p.m. Safety continues to be very good. We continue to not have issues with that. It's been, well, it was over 1,000 days since anyone's lost any time in regards to that. And reportable injuries has been like 330 days without reportable issues associated with that, so safety is always good. A customer impact chart, if I recall, mostly the issue is about birds running into things. We had some birds that got into one of the electrical, what do you call those? Substation. And had some time off with that, so that seems to be, it's geese that do that, so. And if you need for, fried geese for any of these fundraisers, you might be able to find some there. Other personnel, they continue to move on. One thing they haven't finalized yet is they finalized the audit, but they haven't, finalized the approval for the final audit because they need to do the reporting that says these things need to be changed, and we need to finish that and approve that so that they can have that. We can have that commence next month in regards to that. Energy efficiency programs, they talked about those. Cybersecurity, continue to work on the cybersecurity, and they have a big program coming up in regards to that. And I think it's in the fall where the upgrades are going to take place in regards to cybersecurity stuff. Trees, the ash trees that keep on, the ash borer trees that keep on becoming an issue. We keep on having some grant money, and they've been taking trees down wherever they're in trouble for the wires and stuff. They take those down all the time. So that's reported on that. Christie, anything else?
Let's had two vehicles for sale, and they had bids on those. One was a service truck and one was a silver, no, new bifocals, hold on. One was a Silverado truck, so they had bids on those, and those were taken care of. You said they were applying for grants for their NYSERDA projects. They didn't have very many calls this month that affected customers. They only had 13, and it wasn't for any great period of time. What else? Their St. Lawrence tour has been moved to July 24th as of now. So other than that, I mean, you literally covered all my notes.
Good.
Good job, Pat.
Not bad for the memory.
Okay, Jason?
So busy month, now that the weather's finally in summer mode, which is kind of nice. So we did a lot of updating to the Explore Massena website. We reached out to some new businesses that are in town. Up on Highland Road, there's Northern Bicycle. They have like e-bikes, mountain bikes. We reached out to them about getting the proper information, include them. And there's a new ice cream shop called Rio Fiesta, I believe. That's open as well. We reached out to them, so we include them in our efforts. Then we promoted the Memorial Day parade that happened, which ended up being a beautiful day for that. And then mostly a lot of the planting is Rocking River planting. We knocked a lot of dominoes down, met with sponsors, did some sponsorship check presentations, created the artwork, finally got our theme for this year, which is going to be Rockin' the River, TNT, Tunes and Tides 2025, which is a play on one of the popular AC/DC songs, which is our headliner, Bonfire. And we created some really fancy artwork, and if you go online, we actually have a picture of Angus, and he's rocking on the river. So we really, tongue-in-cheek there.
And again, that's August what?
August 16th, Saturday, August 16th at the Massena Town Beach. So with the sponsorship check presentation, Memorial Day Parade, Rocking the River announcements, and all the announcement of Fall Fest, our Facebook page is actually, over the last 28 days, has seen a 78% increase in usage, with 15.5K views, which is up 78% year over year. So we're pretty excited about that. And our reach is also up 122%. That's non-followers of our page and followers of our page. So that means we're actually reaching more people that actually don't even follow the Explore Massena page just off the shares and the interactions on our page. So we're really excited about that. We have an emergency. We reach out to emergency personnel. State police has already reached back. And we're going to meet with them end of July to make sure all the pieces are in place with the Massena Rescue Squad, state police agencies, and the fire departments as well, Louisville Fire. So, as you can imagine, when it comes to planning something like this, it's all sorts of things going on. Some other things I wanted to touch on. Massena Concert Series is off and running. Tomorrow night, Chris Cole plays at Springs Park. Playback is June 26th next week. You can follow them, Massena Concert Series, on Facebook. They have the entire schedule. We've already touched on the Massena Volunteer Fire Department big celebration coming up on July 19th. We have a couple of fishing tournaments getting rolling here coming up with the National Pro Fishing League coming in July 6th, and then followed by, I believe, the Bass, the Phoenix Bass Fishing League comes in July 12th. So calendar's full. Fall Fest, Pumpkin Blues will be Saturday, October 18th. Nobody's seen that on Facebook or our website. All of our events are loaded on our website. I submitted our events to the county chamber as well to include on their calendar. So we're off and rolling.
Okay, thank you very much,
You're
Jason.
welcome.
Keep that up. And whenever you have a chance to talk to the radio station, next Wednesday morning, bring up all that again. Either Pat or Ray, would you want to join on the radio? That's our slot, that would be good. Yeah, promote everything we can, that's good, thank you. Don Meisner, please.
Sue, I'll give the report for
Sure.
Don. He's not here this evening. Don is handling several conference calls this evening because as Jason just mentioned, the National Pro Fishing League will be coming to Massena the first week in July. And the national buzz is off the charts. Don contacted me just before I came in, and he said, please tell the board and the public that this is really going to be a big event. The other part of this is that the anglers are reporting that they're very excited to be coming to Massena. Apparently, the town's reputation is reaching far and wide across the United States, and anglers want to come here because they realize how well they're treated by the businesses, by the volunteers, by everybody with whom they interact. So this is a really good message, and I hope that everyone takes some pride in the fact that we're really on the map, and folks are very excited to come to Massena. So that's really important. And Dawn is looking for more volunteers. So whoever would like to help with parking, driving golf carts, whatever way you feel you might be able to offer some assistance, that would be greatly appreciated. Even if you want to come and help with traffic control at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning out at the intake. That's a wild ride, but whatever folks would like to do, we greatly appreciate the help. And so that's everything that Dawn has to report. And so we can move into my report, which covers something that I did last evening, which was attendance at the outreach session for the Northern New York Community Foundation. And as I tell my students in my grant writing class, even though we're seeing a shift from government spending to private spending, folks should be comforted in the fact that more foundations are being created because they see a need for services and opportunities that might no longer be covered at the federal level. So last night's meeting was really well attended. It was the last of 4, and I can't speak for the other 3, but I will tell you that the majority of folks who were in attendance, and there might have been like 30 people who were there, interested in a variety of opportunities to apply for, whether it was historic preservation or veterans services, medical or recreational. There were a number of folks who were indicating that the county planning office and Ms. Heidi Ames was the conduit by which they learned about this series of programs. So thank you, Heidi. So that's everything that I have.
Good, thank you very much, Linda. Okay, NCC Systems, Carrie, what would you like to tell us?
Hey, so Carly Olson, I'm the Community and Employee Engagement Manager at NCCX, also known as the Bitcoin Place. So just a quick update, we are super excited. We have been expanding our reach throughout the community, supporting several different events. And I promise I'm getting back to you on Rock in the River. That is happening. It's in the works. So we will be supporting Rock in the River again this year. We've been working with Massena Rotary Club. We have been working with the Massena Shine Theater. And, my goodness, I have a list. Sorry. So, the Massena High School, we're working with them. The SLC Chamber of Commerce, I've been working super close with Ben Dixon on several different initiatives throughout the community. And we are also working super closely with the Massena Concert Series. So definitely wanted to just thank everybody for all of the support for our business, and we're happy to be able to give back.
Thank you very much, Carrie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Krista, would you like to report on the library?
I would, thank you. So I have no corrections for Pat, great job, thank you. I'll give a little more detail on some of the things he said though. We had 84 programs during the month of May, which had 862 participants total. I'd like to point out a spotlight on our book sale, which happened at the very beginning of May. We had a total of 85 people that day to see the New Horizons Swing Band and attend our book sale and our plant sale and our bake sale. It was a really big day. big thanks to the Friends of the Massena Public Library for putting that on. They did a fantastic job. They also put on our big truck story time along with the Massena Department of Public Works. We had dump trucks and, my goodness, I don't know the name of these trucks, but front loaders, and we even had a long haul truck, and it was amazing. The kids were up in the cab of the trucks taking pictures, honking the horn, much to the horror of anyone who doesn't like loud noises, but to the thrill of the children actually in the cab honking the horn. It was a really cool day. The drivers of the trucks, the DPW guys, were amazing. We had 85 people for that as well. 45 children, 40 adults. It was really pretty spectacular. In less positive news, I am sad to say that our Narcan training has been canceled by the Seaway Valley Prevention Council until further notice. They just haven't gotten the response that we all hoped for when we started doing it. I'm really hoping that they come back at some point and the community maybe becomes more engaged with it, because I think it is a very necessary program. Circulation statistics, the people of Massena read 4,622 books for the month of May. All right, that's a little misleading. Not just books, that includes DVDs, that includes CDs, it also includes our tables and chairs and canopies that we loan out. We had 5,837 visitors to the library in the month of May. That is about 400, more than 400 up from last year at the same time. Just to go over some of the grants that we updated on at our meeting that Pat mentioned. 5,800 for our murals, 6,736 for our memory cafe, which is going really well. We've got a good group that's been going, and we have Bonnie Black. Again, thank you, Sue, for that connection. She's coming on July 15th to give a talk to the group on caregiving and what to expect in dementia diagnoses. So if you have any curiosity there, if you think that might apply to you as a caregiver or a patient, please drop in. That'll be around 11:45 on July 15th. Our Growing Community Health project was, we were awarded $3,200 for that, and that covers our youth garden to table program, which I am really proud of and really excited for. I know I've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. This is a program in cooperation with Cornell Cooperative Extension's Master Growers Program, and they are taking children and they are learning about the plants and diseases and all kinds of things about them. They chose what plants they wanted to plant, and then they planted them in our learning garden in front of the library. They're going to tend them throughout the summer, and then come fall, they are going to harvest them and use our Charlie cart to cook themselves a meal with them. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool because we're teaching children right from an early age how to grow and prepare and maintain your own food and be independent in that way. And I think that's going to be really great. I think we're going to see it kind of prosper in the community. Let's see, what else? We got the Stewart's Holiday Match Grant. We got $800 for that, and massive props to Lexi for applying for that grant, as well as the Pilcrow Foundation Children's Book Project. That was an interesting one. It was a matching grant, so we had to come up with $400, and then they granted us another $800 for the purchase of $1,200 worth of children's books for the library. So it was a really good investment. Fantastic books, all quite new, some 2025s, really great stuff. So at this point, our grant total for the year is $17,736. Not bad.
That's great, that's super.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So some upcoming programs that I want to remind everybody, well, not remind, you're hearing them for the first time. We have a grief support program coming up on July 16th, that's at 5:30. Medicare 101 on July 23rd at 6 p.m. And then NYPA is coming to do 2 energy workshops, one on July 28th from noon to 2, and one on the 29th from 1 to 3. Memory Cafe will be continuing. We'll be meeting on July 1st, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. We are beginning our summer reading program starting in July. Registration is open now, but it does end June 23rd, so please be sure you register. We've got things like the Garden to Table program I mentioned is on June 26th, July 10th, and 24th. We have Belly Buttons the Clown coming on July 11th. If you have never experienced Belly Buttons the Clown, we had her last year and she was amazing. I laughed so hard, and this was a children's clown. I am easily entertained though, I will admit, but it was good. We are also having Lena the Lizard Lady on the 25th. We're hoping for some pretty cool critters in the library that day. We have Wendy Clark coming to do a puppet making workshop on the 18th. For anyone who is afraid of puppets like me, I don't imagine they're going to be the marionette puppets. I think they'll be the nice cuddly hand puppets that are not scary at all. Let's see, we have Jeff Boyer and his Bubble Show on August 1st. Again, we had him last year and he was fantastic. He did bubbles so big, he put people inside them. Like, there were literally people inside bubbles. It was so cool. And that's the big stuff we've got going on for the summer reading program. So please give us a call, visit us on Facebook, visit our website, stop in, register for the summer reading program. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be at Rock in the River too. Thank you, Jason, for that. We're going to have a story or a table set up to give out books to children and information on the library. And we're going to be setting up our story walk at the fishing tournaments again. Linda gave me some feedback that they were welcomed there and people enjoyed them, so I'm happy to put it up again for the fishing tournaments. I just got it in my head that maybe children who came along with their parents who were fishing might enjoy something like that. So I'm excited to put another one up. And the only thing I have left is I want to put a final push in for a couple other things. Our Adopt a Book program is going very well. I'd like to encourage people to participate. For $20, you adopt a book, we buy it, you are the first person to read it, and then a plaque goes in it with your name on it, informing everyone that you purchased this book for the community, and then it goes out to everyone. It's a really great way to look really cool, not look cool. You don't have to put your name in it if you don't want to, but why would you not want to? We also received $300 from Rotary Club, speaking of putting names in books, for children's books. So I want to give a thanks to the Rotary Club for that.
Yeah, what the Rotary does is when there are speakers at Rotary, for our thank you to them, rather than buying them a mug or a pencil or something, we pay the library and just to get more children's books and put their names in it for doing that program.
Yes.
And they love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we love it. We love any help buying more children's books because we always need them. And a final push for our community survey. Sue mentioned our survey and our community interviews. We've met with a few groups, a few individuals, but our survey can be found online. I also have some paper copies here with me. If anybody wants one, please see me after the meeting. I'd be happy to give you one. I also have some paper copies of the North Country Library System summer reading program. They are doing one that encompasses all the libraries in the area, and it's kind of more of just a fun reading challenge for all ages, including adults. So if you are interested in that, you can find it on their website or stop after the meeting and see me, and I'll give you one. And that is pretty much all I've got.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very good. Okay, is there anybody else who has business with us? Sure. And your name is?
Vince, you don't remember me? We talked 3 weeks ago. You never got back to me.
I do remember you, and I remember how you spoke to me very, very vividly.
How I spoke to you? Because you didn't let me sit down. I didn't sit down. I didn't want to sit down. So what was my concern then? Have you looked into it?
Yes, we have.
And what did you look?
Dylan, do you want to respond to that?
I still haven't found anything in writing that we have to have parking signs there.
In writing, Dylan, there was no parking signs there. I've been to the state troopers. They said they're not supposed to park on the side of the road. North Racket Greenery is filled with parking lot up with trees, brush, rocks, stones, bulldozers, tractors. So there's no parking. People are parking on the side of the road, on Tripping Road, which isn't wide enough. The people parking on the side of the road. It's impeding traffic. It's pedestrian concerns. Somebody getting hurt, walking across, going across the business. In a site plan, a business is supposed to have enough parking for its customers. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I do.
There was no parking signs up. They were taken down. Why were they taken down?
They were taken down in the fall of 2022 when we did the water line through
The
there.
water line is on the other side of the road, you know.
The water line is on,
The water line is on the other side of the road with the fire hydrants on the other side of the road. There's no water line on the side of North Racket Greenery.
the water line comes through from the O'Neill Road side. It comes across that whole intersection, and that's where the parking sign started. We
They
removed,
started down there, they started at his place of business and the end of his place of business. The water line is on the other side of the road where the Club 37 is. That's where the fire hydrants are.
yes.
They weren't taken down by the contractor like you said.
Actually, they were taken down for traffic control through there because we had pushed all of the traffic over to the right lane. So we took them down due to them being so close to the road.
Nobody's worried about the concerns about people getting hurt? Why didn't you get back to me soon? 3 weeks.
Let me tell you something. When you came in and left in the way that you were treating me,
You explained the way I left.
you were in a rage.
I wasn't in a rage. We call this rage
You were
right now.
no, you're very calm right now, Vince.
I was calm. Dylan, was I yelling?
You were a little wound up, yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm going against 2 people, when I'm trying to help the public out, somebody's gonna get hurt. You said you're gonna talk to the council, to the attorney. Have you talked to Eric about it? Eric, have you heard anything about this?
I have.
Yeah, and what's your concern about it?
Well, it's not the town's responsibility to enforce.
Why were signs taken down and put up?
Listen, I have no idea about that. You know, I take Dylan at his word that it was done for construction purposes. But, you know, it's a matter, you think there's a violation of the vehicle and traffic law. You know, that's a matter for the sheriff's department or the state police to look at.
Okay, so
Right,
the
the
town
town
doesn't
really
really
have
have
an
concern
enforcement.
about his employee, about the public.
The town doesn't have an enforcement group that deals with parking on roads.
Why weren't the signs put back up? I'm not putting the question to you. I'm asking why weren't the signs put back up? If they were there originally.
I can answer that. We didn't put the signs back up because they were in our way for both snow removal and mowing roadsides.
The mailboxes aren't in your way, speed signs aren't in your way, everything else is in your way? Come on.
The parking signs were a lot closer to the road than speed limit signs. Because of the way the ditch is shaped there, we can't put them at the proper distance.
Exactly, because people can't park there, but people are parking there. It impedes traffic. People park on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. It makes one lane down the highway. All I'm asking, I'm not against the business, I'm not against Gary, I'm not against any of that. People shouldn't be parking on the side of the road, it's 45 miles an hour. He should have his business enough parking for people to park there. And they were put there for a reason, now they're taken down. Why is it so hard to put them back up? Because when somebody comes in to go to shop there, and they see people parking on the side of the road, they're gonna park there. And they see a no parking sign there, they're not gonna park there. That's not very hard to understand, is it? But when there's no signs there, people, if you see somebody parking on the side of the road, you're gonna pull up and park behind them when there's no parking in the parking lot. Has anybody been out to North Rocket Greenery, see what it looks like?
I drive by daily.
Yeah, stones almost in the ditch, isn't there?
His parking lot has a lot in it, yes. But,
Build a new building in the parking lot, trees in the parking lot, shrubs in the parking lot, his bulldozer, dump trucks, his vehicles. It leaves no room for parking. I'm not the neighbor. Has anybody ever seen me before here talking to these meetings? I'm not like that. And Sue, I wish you wouldn't tell people the way I talk to you, because I talk to you normally.
No, you
So,
did not.
because
No.
you started pointing your finger at me like you're doing right now.
Vince, I try to have a decent
You told me to
understanding.
sit down.
Yes, I said,
"No,
would you please sit down, and you
That was
yelled
at
at
the
me.
beginning. No, that was at the beginning.
No, stop. You yelled at me and said, I am not sitting down, I'm not a dog. I said, I just want to find out the
Because
facts.
you started
And
yelling
then you
at me,
called
Sue.
me a liar
No.
for not listening to you.
Sue, that's not how it happened at all. Oh, now you're laughing at me.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I know what happened. I was writing the entire time you were speaking to me. I wrote everything down.
You asked me at the beginning to sit down, I said no. Dylan walked in, right? Dylan?
That was 25 minutes later,
It
yeah.
wasn't 25 minutes later, I got there at 5 after 8, and you had a meeting at Dylan at 8:30. So you asked me to sit down, I said no. I'm fine standing, that's fine. I showed you pictures of it. I showed you the window. I showed you all that. Dylan down the hallway said, that's the way she is. You didn't say that, Dylan? Did you say that or not?
can you repeat yourself on that?
Okay, when we were talking out in the hallway, I
Yes.
said, Dylan, I said, do I have to sit down the way she was getting, you said exact words.
Yes,
That's the way
that
she
is,
is.
that is the way Sue is. She would like to sit down and have a conversation.
No, you
Conversation,
said
get
that's
all
the way
facts.
she is, by pointing her finger and getting mad and telling me I should have sat down.
Did he use those exact words?
Yes.
I find
Dylan,
that hard to
come on.
believe.
I did say that is the way Sue is.
Okay.
I did.
Now, everybody's against me. I'm here for the public. I'm here for business. It's not just have parking for the customers. They're parking on the side of the road. I don't know why it's so hard to put the signs back up. And I don't know why I didn't get back to me 3 weeks later. Sue?
Well, when you left my room and didn't even finish letting me have my conversation with you, because then you decided to talk with Dylan, it kind of like was left in the air, at which point I did reach out to Dylan to find out more information. So we did go look into that and find out the agreement, and the agreement didn't say anything about
Sue, did you look into the site plan? Is there a site plan? Is there a site plan? You look into the site plan when you started this business?
I did.
All right, do you have a parking lot? Was there a parking lot?
There is a parking lot there.
Is there a parking lot now?
It is, he still has his parking lot. Yes, he
Is
has
there-
things
is there
all over
parking?
his parking lot.
There's a new
But-
building in the parking lot you built, right? On the parking lot. There's trees, shrubs, stones, bulldozers. You can't park anybody there. It's not a parking lot. There's no lines, there's no designated parking. People are parking on the side of the road because of that. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for you to go back I don't like the way it looks, I don't like this. I'm not saying that. There's pallets, it's been stored for 5 years out by the 37, that's 10 feet high, 30 feet long. I'm not here for that. I'm here for no parking signs. That's it.
Eric, can we take a look back at that, find that agreement and find out what that's
What
about?
agreement? What
Yeah,
agreement?
so I mean, at this point, during public comment session, you guys have accommodated a number of questions, which are, of course, not required to do. It's time for the board to listen, but of course, you've been very accommodating. It occurs to me that this is something that's either a matter for the state police or for the code enforcement. If Mr. Brian thinks there's a code violation, we can certainly have the code enforcement officer take a look at it. I think, given what we've heard here, that's warranted. But the question before the board was, why don't you put the signs back up? Dylan has indicated why the signs were taken down and the continuing problems they were causing. Again, if there's a violation of the vehicle and traffic law, the sheriff's department, the state police can take a look at it. And if there's a code violation, Patrick can take a look at it. I think the responsibilities of this board are, kind of at an end. You guys don't have law enforcement enforcement
Okay.
credentials.
You don't have, they don't have a businesses in that type of parking lot?
That would be a code enforcement review. I think we get Patrick to take a look at the code enforcement in
Yeah,
regards
that's
to
what I
that,
just said.
for that property.
It was a safety issue that needs to be addressed.
Exactly, that's all I'm here for. And Sue, I don't like the way you portrayed me, and I wasn't like that at all.
I know the way you
And
were.
you said,
I know the way you were with me. And when I hear my secretary saying what was all the shouting about from across the hallway, et cetera, I know what you said to me, I wrote down everything you said to me, and you need to think back that on your own yourself. Right now, we're being very respectful. I'd like to continue respectful conversation, and we'll see what we can do at this point as far as following through what we need to do at this point.
and when somebody will get back to me, what's supposed to be done 3 weeks, another,
I have no,
the next
I have
meeting?
no guarantee as to that.
No,
Things take time.
things take time.
Yeah.
And first you had to look in to see there's no parking signs there at all, right? He said, I don't know, I've been out there, and I don't know, I never saw any no parking signs. And I said, and I said, oh, will you call me a liar? That's all I said, because you said there was no parking signs there, you didn't see any.
Rather than rehash what you think you said, what you think I said, I know what I said, I know what you said. And at this point, thank you very much for coming in, and we'll try to accommodate as best we can in our position.
So that's it.
I think being accommodating, I think is pretty good.
You're not being accommodating, you're being sarcastic right now.
Oh, not at
Your
all,
attitude.
not at all,
Not
not
at
at
all.
all. No. That's your interpretation or misinterpretation, and that, you have that prerogative. Thank you for coming in. At this time, I need a motion to go into executive session, please.
Yes, I'll
To
make the
discuss,
motion.
to discuss, I need to tell you what it's going to be, discussions related to proposed pending or current litigation, medical, financial credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or relating to appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or removal, and acquisition, lease, or sale of real property or securities when publicity would substantially affect value. At this point, I need a motion, please.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to go to
And a
executive
second?
session.
I'll second.
Okay, and it's
Aye.
5:30. Thank you all very much for coming.